Namaste, all. I just wanted to share a little bit of my thinking around pranayama practices and the responses that some people can have in them. In the Gitananda tradition, we have a very strong body of pranayama practices, breathing practices. And whilst pranayama practices are known to be breathing practices, what we're actually doing in the undertaking of these practices is working to be able to absorb, integrate, and use the presence of prana, which is that life force, that cosmic life force. And so these breathing practices are drawing more of this kind of presence and aligning us with this presence. But the other thing about the breathing practices is very often people can have quite strong responses, and particularly when we're doing them through some of the forcing techniques that happen in this Gitananda tradition, which are called the hatenas. And very often people can kind of have fear responses in there. Or bringing up panic or agitation or restlessness or sadness or so many things. The breath is connected to so many things. And so I just wanted to kind of remind you that when you undertake these breathing practices, the breath for me, it's a key really into our inner realms. And our inner realms, whilst they can be absolutely delightful and blissful and peaceful and expansive, they, on the way to that, we can encounter a lot of the turbulence and trauma and tension that have been laid down over the years. And so what we're doing is we're navigating those blockages, those tensions and traumas, so that we can experience those states beyond those tensions and traumas, that pure state that we actually are beyond and within the human experience. So in the breathing practices themselves, in the experience of breathing, what we're doing is we're connecting in to those laid down memories and imprints. And if you think about it, the breath was there for every moment that you've had, every experience you've had, the breath was there. And it's very likely that you did something with that breath in those moments. It's very likely that you held the breath, or you controlled the breath, you suppressed the breath, you made the breath very shallow. So the breath is very directly linked to those experiences of tension and trauma. There is a direct relationship between those moments and your breathing. And even if there wasn't, the fact that the breath was present in those moments means that it holds a record of everything that you've undertaken. So as we start bringing our conscious awareness into the breathing process, and we start expanding the lungs and stretching into that aspect of our physiology and our being as well, we're going to encounter those moments that the breath was present for, that got locked into the body, that got stored in these layers of imprints. So just remembering that the breath is the key to these releases, the key to these expanded experiences, but also it was the friend that was with you in the moments that it occurred, can be a way to kind of recognize that I can just take my time with the breath. I can just slowly step in to the breathing, knowing that I just need to move in a little bit at a time. Swamiji's correspondence course, the 52 lessons, are called step by step. And there's a really profound reason for this step-by-step process, is because you don't want to be in bed for a week. You don't want to paralyze yourself by undertaking the practices too enthusiastically, throwing everything at it. You just need it incrementally. You just need to start by opening those lungs, connecting into the breathing and what's been held in there for years and years. So that relationship between the breath and our psychosomatic experience, our sense of well-being in present, but also the well-being of past, it all comes to play in this moment of our pranayama practices. So just have that mindfulness as you start to move into your breathing, as you become aware of your breathing, as you realize that there has been unawareness of breathing, that I've just been breathing into here for my whole life. And how good is it, how wonderful is it to actually start to recognize my lower lung and open up into that experience of breathing and my respiratory tract and process. So yes, that presence of breath, it is your friend, it is your ally, it has been with you every moment for your whole life thus far and will be with you every moment until you leave. It is the barometer of your life. It started your life with an inhalation and it will end this incarnation with an exhalation. So just recognize that that is also a record. That rhythm holds presence for every moment, every thought, every action, every emotion, every memory, every experience has had breath breathing through the very life force, the very action, the very moment that it existed. So it's a pretty profound thing. Let it do its work with you. Let it have its way with you, but gently, just gently, and be kind. Be kind to yourself, and your breath will be kind to you as well, as it always is.